Hi everyone, I'm back. I wanna take this time and opportunity to teach you about why change is good in your life. Why is change good? All right. I'll start with my experience. Why change is good. All right. When I was younger, right, I decided to start reading. This was about 2 years ago. That I actually started to pick up a book and to learn. But for example, um, what happened was I was reading books, right? And I didn't want to pay 50 cents for a book, you know. I wanted to get my hands on the free stuff, always. But I knew straight away that these free books, right, will have some knowledge and everything, but um, I didn't quite know what kind of books I wanted to read or what type of books I'm into. Am I into what kind of genres? What kind of was I into fiction? Was I into non-fiction? Was I into um, personal development? And was I into uh, crime? All this kind of stuff. And when I started reading those books, a sudden realization hit me. I started actually paying for books, and the reason I was paying for books was because I was getting some information um, uh, that helped me that helped me in my life. And as soon as I started reading books of like actually high caliber, like books that are pretty good, usually in the personal development kind of books, I started to think differently. And when I'm thinking differently, I'm actually changing. You know, I'm changing into a person, right? For example, someone will say something, and it's my choice if I want to apply that knowledge in my life. So if I don't like what something said, I'm not. I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm not gonna. It's either I'm gonna ignore it, or I'm gonna write something and say no, this is not true. Because based on the knowledge I have, I can tell if the information is positive or if it's not. And while I was changing, right, I noticed that books were enriching my life in many ways. Just like no matter what I was doing, uh, whether I was speaking, whether I was uh, doing stuff, homework or something, um, I was actually thinking in much better ways than I was before. Like, as in, no negative thoughts, um, you know. Um, but I also, as I explained in my last video, I tense my mind, right? And while I read, I I go into this state of mind where um, I'm just I'm reading and I'm applying that knowledge to my life, and um, yeah, changing. It's good to change because when you're changing, you're growing, and it's good to grow, and you can do this by reading, and you'll realize, like, say, maybe you haven't picked up a book in your life, and um, or maybe you don't read every day, but I want you to see the bigger picture. There's a world out there, right, that can be in your home. So, for example, Shakespeare or Vishen Lakhiani, or uh, Eckhart Tolle, or you got all this knowledge, right, of what they do in their life, and you can apply this knowledge. Look at every book as a lecture, right? Everyone loves lectures. Like, I used to go to school just for a lecture, for a good lecture. And think about it: 1 hour of a book, of a personal development book, is like a lecture, right? So imagine 500 lectures in your life, or 500 hours of a lecture. So 500 hours. Think about that. you know, and you know all this knowledge, and you're putting it together in your mind, and you have this certain type of feeling, and you have this certain type of positivity, that and this certain type of confidence that you took from other people, that you apply to your life, that you are speaking through you. Um, you apply. That's how you apply it. You speak it through you, and people see that. People see the change in you, and this is a positive change. You know, for example, someone says, um, be motivated in your life. You know, don't do drugs, don't do this. You know, but they're talking in a fast kind of way. You know, uh, like some people will see that and they will be like, wow, I want to be like him. You know, so he's actually inspired them by actually talking like that in that kind of speed. You know, and this is what books can actually teach you. You know, uh, they can actually teach you to be um, in a much better thinking state than you were. So say you read for 3 years straight, you read 100 books. You know, you're gonna be in a much better position than you were when you weren't. Then you're not reading. You know, uh, so look at books as a source of change, right? Um, you may not agree with something, but as soon as it's explained to you why, you know, but why this is said like this, or why is it done like that, or why is this kind of thinking better, and then as soon as they tell you the information, they tell you why it's good, why it's all this, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, so that's how they think, you know. Okay, so that's why they say you have to be positive, because you have to be confident. You have to be confident if you want to be positive. And then you start realizing um, why people are so positive today, and why people are succeeding um, to a great height, you know, and why people are teaching other people, and why people are changing the world today. And you start to recognize all this, you know, and it's all through books, you know, through intelligence. I've got to the point where I was actually a person that kept things to myself, you know, like knowledge, I kept it to myself. But as down the line, when I started reading more and more and more, I started to recognize, you know, like I know so much, and I might as well just go and teach it to someone else. You know, like it might help their life. You know, and it's always good to to say encourage, or if you could change someone's life by a little piece of information, always that's pretty good. You know, changing someone for the better, you know, is a great thing. It's a great thing. When you have helped someone in your life um, see things from a different perspective, and or if you've, for example, if someone asks for your opinion on something, that means they highly respect you, because it may not be that situation. Like they might ask for opinion just because they need an opinion, but you want to be able to provide them that opinion, and you want to be able to tell them from personal experience what you do differently to them, and then you can help that person see from a different perspective, and that's exactly what books provide you with. They provide you with different perspectives, right? And when you know so much perspectives on a certain topic, right, you can teach it in the best way possible, you know. And or if for example you don't you teach them in the best way possible, but they still don't recognize, you can still tell them from a different perspective, you know. And in the end, you're changing someone's life by actually telling them this information. For example, psychologists, people go to psychologists to improve themselves, when in fact they can actually buy a personal development book, and they can just change their thoughts into positivity, right? Instead of paying a psychologist $100, they can actually buy 4 personal development books, which are all 8 hours long, right? And just listen to it all day long, uh, and down the line, right? You may not pick up on it straight away, but that you start to actually apply that to your life. You know, like for example, I might be reading something, and down the line, 3 months later, uh, I can actually help someone with that just from the back of my mind. It's already in my mind, but I didn't think that it was in my mind. You know, I've already applied that to my life, and just by someone telling me to do a specific thing like this, or why this is thought of like this, you know, and yeah, like um, that's why books are called self development. I'm sure everyone knows that, but yeah, um, uh, it enriches your life reading, and it has mine, and I'm a much smarter guy than I was. Um, 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I was actually going blindfolded, and I wasn't reading. I didn't know why I was reading, and I didn't know how to learn, and I didn't know how my mind worked, or I didn't know what the effects of alcohol were, or all this kind of stuff. You know, like it's better to know all this kind of stuff. You know, uh, so then it will help you in the future, and even knowing all this information that I'm telling you, right? You may be watching, but you're actually listening. It's a form of listening, um, and audiobooks can provide you with listening, and also like the more you read, right? Say you read 500 hours of audiobooks, you've come to a state where you've just improved your life for the better, because you know so much information, and no matter what, if someone comes up to you and asks for opinion on something, and you're probably going to be able to tell them what works in your life, and why you do that kind of stuff, um, and when you tell someone something, when you teach them, right, that um, this can help their life dramatically, and once they start applying that to their life, you've changed someone for the better, and we need more people to start changing people, to start providing them with information um, that's good for their health, that's good for their mind, um, positive knowledge, positive motivation, um, uh, new ways of thinking. All this kind of stuff is very important, and because it will improve your life, and you're going to be able to speak to people better. You're going to be able to um, uh, be more intelligent, be more funnier, be more smart, have more of a sense of humor, have a better personality. You know, and this is all what books provide, and books change your life. And because I know this for a fact, I know this for a fact. I had to repeat that. That it actually changes your life. And so if you don't read, right? If you don't read, if you're a person that's watching this video that doesn't read, okay, reads a bit of articles here and there, but doesn't actually buy books and reads for a living, I suggest that you start to actually buy books, and start reading daily, because this is going to change your life dramatically. And then down the line, you're going to want to help other people just like me. And yeah. Also, I wanted to add, also today, people provide people with services that help them. So, for example, people go to a stroke doctor, for example, for a certain type of service. Uh, People go to a psychologist for a certain type of service. It's a service they provide, right? The confidence they have, or um, and like that. Uh, and books provide a certain type of service to you, to help you in life, and to see things from better perspectives, and um, what's the other word? Um, yeah, to see things from other perspectives, a better way of thinking, and um, it will change your life dramatically because it has mine. That's all I wanted to say for today. Uh, Change is good, and don't think it's bad. Read as much as you can. Peace out.